May peace be upon us all. Shalom. Om Swastiastu. Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, Rahayu. His Excellency, the Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs, Dr. Erlangga Hartarto, I've informed that Bapak Menko is following this conference virtually in Jakarta. So, of course, this is a good news for everybody because we will listen from his experience, especially in the economic affairs in the recent five years. I also want to express my gratitude and also appreciation to the Vice Rector for Resources of Universitas Erlangga, Professor Muhammad Madian. Please give a big round of applause to our Vice Rector. And please extend my warm regards to Bapak Rektor, Professor Muhammad Naseh. Director of Postgraduate School, Universitas Erlangga, Professor Badri Munir Sukocho. And we have all the vice directors here, Professor Rudy, Professor Pancha, Professor Jojo, thank you. And Professor Fendi as well, of course. Conference Chair of ICPS 2024, Professor Mas Rahmah. Deputy for Economic Affairs, Ministry of National Development Planning, Bappenas, Mrs. Amalia Widyasanti. Special Staff to the Minister of Finance, Bapak Pargiono. And Professor of Sustainability, Accounting and Governance at Universitas Erlangga, Professor Iman Harimawan. Professor at Manipal Law School, India, Bangalore, Professor Sunil John. Professor at Nanhua University, Taiwan, Professor Wan Yi Wu. Thank you for coming all the way from your respective countries. I hope you enjoy your stay here in Indonesia, especially Surabaya, and don't be too serious. You have to explore Surabaya, at least to try the various culinary. I recommend you rawon setan, devil, rawon, rujak cingur. What else? Bebek sinjai, duck, special duck from Madura. And a lot of other culinary that you can try while you're staying in Surabaya. But once again, thank you and welcome to Indonesia. Distinguished faculty members, esteemed scholars, participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's always good to be back to this beautiful and inspiring campus of Unair, a place that feels like home and family to me. Family to me. First of all, I would like to thank the Director of Postgraduate School and the organizer of ICPS for inviting me to this year's international conference. I'm honored and privileged to deliver a keynote speech at this prestigious forum where we can exchange ideas, experiences, knowledge, and best practices. But before I continue, allow me to express our joy and let us say happy birthday to Professor Badri Munir Sukocho, I don't know. I'm not sure about your age now. Are you 37 or 46? Okay. So we are the same generation, right? So once again, happy birthday. Many happy returns. And I wish you all the best. It's a successful career and also more contribution for Unair and the people around us. Well, to be honest, Bapak Ibu sekalian, I have a very tight schedule this week. But there's always time for Unair. At least I will always try my best to find the time to attend invitations from Unair. 2 days ago, as the chairman of the Democratic Party, I held a celebration of our party's 23rd anniversary. And on the same day, in my capacity as a minister, I had to engage in a final hearing session with the parliament to decide our ministry's budget allocation for the 2025 fiscal year. And tomorrow afternoon, I have to fly to Balikpapan in order to attend our last cabinet meetings, which will be held in IKN, our new capital of Nusantara. We must ensure a smooth leadership transition from our current President Joko Widodo to his successor, President-elect Prabowo Subianto. However, I also want to fulfill my responsibility as a doctoral candidate. I want to finish my study. Of course, the sooner, the better. So tomorrow morning, I will come back here, but not as the minister, not as keynote speaker, but as a student, a real student who wants to defend, who must defend his dissertation. So please wish me luck. Please wish me luck. Today we gather here to discuss a very important topic on transformation towards the Sustainable Development Agenda 2030 with a multidisciplinary approach. This topic is fundamental for our nation as well as for the global community to achieve a more equitable, prosperous, and sustainable future. I'm also delighted, not merely because my doctoral research is closely aligned with with this topic, but also due to a more personal reason. As you might be aware, President Yudhoyono, our sixth President of the Republic of Indonesia, played a pivotal and strategic role in the formulation of the Sustainable Development Goals in 2012. So back in June 2012, he was appointed as one of the 3 co-chairs of the United Nations High-Level Panel, alongside the UK Prime Minister David Cameron, Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So they were representing world leaders from different regions, namely Asia, the West, especially Europe, and Africa. They also represent different economic status from developed economies in transition, and also developing economies. The SDGs were formulated as a broader and more comprehensive successor to the Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs. While the MDGs focus on reducing poverty and improving basic human needs in developing countries, the SDGs expanded the scope to 17 goals, covering a wide range of global issues, including economic growth, social inclusion, environmental sustainability, and peace. The SDGs address the gaps left by the MDGs, such as inequalities and environmental challenges, and emphasize a universal, integrated approach and partnerships that involves all countries. The SDGs were designed so that they are globally relevant yet adaptable to local context, balancing global aspirations with national priorities, and emphasizing the principle of no one left behind. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, the SDGs adopted by all UN members in 2015 represents a universal call to action. These 17 goals, encompassing 169 targets and 289 indicators, are rooted in a profound philosophy. First, economic development. Second, social inclusion. And third, environmental sustainability, which in principle, all of those three are all interdependent. The SDGs challenge, I repeat, the SDGs challenge us to move beyond traditional metrics of progress, such as GDP, and they make us consider broader measures of human well-being, equity, and environmental health. The SDGs envision a world where poverty and hunger is eradicated, and where quality education and healthcare is accessible to all. And where gender equality and reduced inequalities become norms, as well as where our planet is protected for future generations. This vision demands a transformation in how we think, how we plan, and how we act at every level of society. Distinguished guest participants, ladies and gentlemen, as we reflect on Indonesia's journey towards achieving the SDGs by 2030, we can say that Indonesia is progressing. According to the 2024 Global Sustainable Development Report, we have jumped from rank 102nd to 78th globally. Our SDGs index score has also climbed up from 64.7 in 2016 to 69.43 in 2024. Indonesia has made substantial strides in reducing poverty, improving access to education, and expanding healthcare services. Our commitments to climate action, as demonstrated by various national policies and international commitments, shows our dedication to sustainable development. However, while 76% of our SDGs indicators are still progressing well, our journey is still far from complete. Indeed, Indonesia is on the track in some areas, such as reducing the level of poverty, goal number 1 here, and quality education, goal number 4. Several other goals, such as good health and well-being, goal number 3, gender equality, goal number 5, improving access to clean water and sanitation, goal number 6, affordable and clean energy, goal number 7, promoting sustainable economic growth, goal number 8, building industry, innovation, and infrastructure, goal number 9, and climate action, goal number 13, are moderately improving. However, we must stay alert to various disruptions, such as the previous COVID-19 pandemic situation, which has severely impacted on our healthcare system, social protection mechanism, economic resilience, and our quality education. On the other hand, we also face significant challenges in stagnating indicators, such as in zero hunger, reducing inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, life below water and on land, peace, justice, and strong institution, as well as partnership for the goals, which all require intensified efforts. In terms of quality education, goal number 4, which relates to our human resource capacity, there have been some improvements. However, we still have to work very hard to catch up with others ahead of us. According to the World Intellectual Property Organization, formulating the 2023 Global Innovation Index. Indonesia's human resource innovation capability is concerning. It ranked 61st among 132 countries, behind Singapore and Malaysia. And as a result, in terms of productivity, Indonesian workers produce only 13.50 US dollar per hour, while Malaysia is almost double at around 25.92 per US dollar per hour. This reality exemplifies the advanced economic structure, technological adoption, and high-skilled workforce from one of our closest neighbors, Malaysia. And the stark disparity underscores critical deficiencies within Indonesia's industrial and economic sectors, its education system, and its human resource development. Ladies and gentlemen, 2030 is only 6 years away from today. It will take all of us pulling in the same direction with our efforts to realize the vision of Golden Indonesia, Indonesia Emas 2045, 2045. To achieve all its goals and targets, a multidisciplinary approach is essential since everything is inherently interconnected. The complexity and interdependence of the SDGs mean that progress in one area will impact others, and likewise, failure in one area will also impact others. For example, achieving good health and well-being, goal number 3, is closely linked to ensuring clean water and sanitation, goal number 6, promoting sustainable cities, goal number 11, and reducing inequalities, goal number 10. Similarly, combating climate change, goal number 13, is also tied to responsible consumption and production, goal number 12, sustainable energy use, goal number 7, and protecting life below water, number 14, and also life on land, goal number 15. Therefore, it is imperative to have a multidisciplinary approach to bring together experts from environmental science, economics, engineering, and sociology, among others, to develop holistic solutions that consider those interconnections. Like what we have here today. This is a very inspiring and fruitful international conference organized by UNAIR. So I think this is a great opportunity for every one of us to share our vision and our concern. And also we can share our past best practices on many issues with regards to SDGs. Multidisciplinary teams can bridge gaps between different levels of decision-making, ensuring that local actions align with national policies and international commitments as well. They can integrate insights from various fields such as public health, engineering, environmental science, law, economics, and political science to create coherent strategies that work effectively across different contexts. At the national level, as the Minister of Agrarian Affairs and Spatial Planning, head of National Land Agency, I have to make sure that our ministry contributes significantly for achieving several SDGs goals, particularly the ones that are related to sustainable land management and spatial planning. By the way, professors, I invite some of our leaders at provincial and also regency and city levels from ATR and BPN. They are eagerly following this conference, and hopefully many of them will join UNAIR as students as well. How many? 20. Okay, so we contribute at least 20 more future leaders. Allow me to continue. We believe Without land, there will be no food, no life, therefore no future. Agree? So for instance, regarding the first goal on poverty alleviation, zero hunger, goal number 2, and reducing inequalities, goal number 10, we are implementing agrarian reform, a strategic policy aiming to redistribute land ownership and improve people's welfare through asset and economic access reform. In the last 10 years, we have successfully distributed lands, around 12.5 million hectares. This achievement has surpassed the initial national target of 9 million hectares all over Indonesia. Due to this significant progress, the World Bank has invited me to speak at the World Bank Land Conference in Washington, D.C. last May, attended by 21 minister-level officials and more than 1,000 participants coming from 81 different nationalities. It was truly an honor for me to present Indonesia's success story and best practices. In addition, regarding to goal number 13 on climate action, we are in the process of revising government regulation number 18/2021 to empower citizens and private sectors in a carbon trading market, while significantly contributing to global emission reduction. This policy is in line with the long-term strategy for low carbon and climate resiliency 2050 and the roadmap for achieving the target of net zero emission by 2060. Last but not least, regarding goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities. We are implementing mixed-use planning and compact city policies to develop cities that bring huge impact on the reduction of carbon emission. For example, we require cities to provide at least 30% of green open spaces to absorb carbon naturally. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, I have developed a thesis that transformational leadership and human resource orchestration are strongly intertwined and play essential roles in our efforts to realize the vision of achieving the SDGs. Like Prof. Bardi mentioned earlier, our collective ambition is to achieve Indonesia Emas 2045. Are we optimistic to achieve that in 2045? Are we still optimistic? Can we achieve that? But how? The question is how. So this is my thesis that I will defend tomorrow morning. This is just a sneak peek. Through transformational leadership and human resource orchestration. It requires more than just policy adjustment on isolated initiatives. It calls for a fundamental shift in how leadership is practiced and how human potential is harnessed across all sectors of society. Transformational leadership in Indonesia is about inspiring a collective commitment to the SDGs vision of a sustainable, equitable, and prosperous future. Leaders at all levels of government, from the president to the governors, to the regions and mayors, as well as leaders of civil society and the private sectors, must be able to articulate a clear and compelling vision that resonates with diverse stakeholders. They must be able to convey the urgency of addressing challenges such as poverty, justice, inequality, and environmental degradation. By doing so, these leaders can unify fragmented efforts into a cohesive national agenda that aligns with global development priorities. We must realize that achieving the SDGs is not the responsibility of a single country or an entity. It demands synergy and collaboration. By facilitating dialogue and cooperation among diverse groups, leaders can ensure that all voices are heard and the benefits of sustainable development are widely shared. At the same time, human resource orchestration is critical to realizing this vision. To meet this ambitious target set out in the SDGs, Indonesia must ensure that its workforce is well prepared, motivated, and effectively deployed. Education and training program must be focused on developing competencies in areas like green technology, sustainable agriculture, digital innovation, public health, and good governance. They will enable Indonesia to advance goals related to quality education, decent work, and economic growth. The interplay between transformation leadership and human resource orchestration is where the real potential for achieving the SDGs lies. Transformational leaders set the vision and inspire the drive for change, while human resource orchestration ensure that the right people with the right skills are in the right positions to turn that vision into reality. Together, they create a dynamic environment where all stakeholders are empowered to contribute for the goals. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, achieving the Sustainable Development Goals in 2030 and at the same time, the vision of Golden Indonesia 2045 are not just a matter of policy. It is a shared moral commitment and social imperative. It calls for a transformation in how we think, how we act, and how we collaborate. As we move towards 2030, Indonesia has the opportunity to be one of the leaders in sustainable development, demonstrating to the world that a large and a diverse nation can grow inclusively, equitably, and sustainably. Finally, my final point here, let us build a super team for this country that consists of transformational leaders and effective followers. Let me repeat, a super team for this country that consists of transformational leaders and effective followers who share one common vision. So transformational leaders and effective followers who share one common vision of making Indonesia and the world a better place for every one of us, for our children and our children's children. While with the strong foundation of excellence with morality, I am confident that UNAIR will be part of that super team. Not only part of that super team, but I'm confident that UNAIR will be one of the champions in preparing those transformational leaders as well as the best and brightest human capital in the near future. That is why I chose UNAIR. School of Leadership. Wise man says, politicians normally talk about or always talk about and prepare for the next elections, correct? Politician. I repeat, politicians normally talk about and prepare for the next elections. But true leaders, great leaders, statesmen, always talk about and prepare for the next generations. And we hope UNAIR can be that center of excellence. Not only producing leaders with high intellectual capacity, but also with strong character and moral. That is very important and not so common anymore. Intellectual capacity with strong moral and character. because that's the essence of transformational leadership that I learned from profesor-profesor yang hebat-hebat di sini. So let's unite, let's build our own super team, be the best version of ourselves towards Indonesia Emas 2045, towards Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Thank you. Insya Allah, together we can. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.